This is an Eastern Orthodox cathedral in Romania. For hundreds of years, this organization has followed a dead apostate tradition instead of preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. Generation after generation, an organization that was supposed to be bringing people into fellowship with God has been doing something else. What is it that took them away from the gospel, that took them away from fellowship with God? Today, we're going to go inside and see. She got out her money out of her purse before entering so that she could buy prayers. She's dressed in all black, which means someone in her family has recently died and she's looking to help them. Here we see where they're selling icons to pray to. They're selling candles for prayers to be heard. People are paying money in order to please the priest and to come into fellowship with him. There she's just bought candles so that she could pray for her soul and for the soul of others who have died. They're told that's the way to get them into heaven, is by paying that fee for them to the church. At the altar, the priest holds out the Bible. People put money in it along with written prayer requests that if they put up enough money, he will say their prayer at the altar. Here's where they'll come outside to burn those candles. On one side, prayers for the living, and on the other side, prayers for the dead. After the service inside is over, they'll all be coming out here to do that. At the end of Luke chapter 19, Jesus walked into the temple and found it pretty much like what we just saw. People were selling sacrifices, trying to make money off the people's need for a relationship with God. And the result was they were denying them a relationship with God. Just like the church behind me, where they just sold us a piece of communion bread for a couple dollars. It hinders a relationship with God instead of bringing people to God. That's what Jesus found. And as you know from the passage, it made him very angry. He drove out those that sold. He got rid of them. He said, "You have no place here because my Father's house is to be a house of prayer, a place of relationship with God." That's what the temple was to be. And they had made it a den of thieves to sell things. Now, what happened next, in the next verse, is very, very important. Because right after Jesus cleansed the temple, it says this, "And he was teaching daily in the temple. The chief priests and the scribes and the principal men of the people were seeking to destroy him, but they did not find anything they could do, for all the people were hanging on his words." You see, a cleansed temple is a fruitful place of ministry, a place where God can use to bring people to him. But what does that mean to you as a Christian in Texas in 2010? Where you're not going to a church that does this? Well, it means something very important to you anyway. Because you see, in New Testament times, God does not dwell in temples built with human hands. He dwells in you. You are the temple of the Holy Spirit. You are the temple that is supposed to be a house of prayer, a place of relationship with God, and a place where lost sinners can come to encounter the true and living God through your testimony, through the Spirit's presence in your temple. That's what you're supposed to be. That's what I'm supposed to be. And sometimes, though, greed for money or lust for other things gets in the way of our relationship with God, gets in the way of our usefulness to God bringing others to him. And we need to let Jesus get in there, in our hearts, crack the whip, overturn the tables that we've set up to worship other things like money, and cleanse the place. Cleanse us. Because a cleansed temple is a place of fruitful ministry. What's in your heart now that you put there that God doesn't want there? Your flesh wants it there and it wants it to stay. But God's Spirit wants it to be cleansed so that your temple can be a place of fruitful ministry. Let him do that with you right now.
even this night, take a few moments, tell Jesus, come in. Here's my heart. I want you to clean out what you don't like. When you enter in and you don't like what you see, right now, take care of it. You can't cleanse your own temple. You can't do it with your own will. Your flesh wants those things there that are in the way of your relationship with God and your usefulness to God. Your flesh wants them there. That's why they are there. Let Jesus cleanse them, because a cleansed temple is a place of fruitful ministry.
So let's be careful not to let happen to us what happened to them. Let Jesus cleanse your temple so that your life can be about relationship with God and about people coming to you and finding fellowship with Him. Blessings to you all at Sunday at 5. Lord willing, we'll talk again next month.